What's up, everybody? Nick back with you here from Project Central, and today we're going to continue working on the Miata Kart. As you've seen in the past, last time we had this thing out, it was overheating quite a bit. So where we're going to start on this front end is the cooling system, which means we've got to tear into the motor, we've got a new water pump to put on, and it's going to be kind of involved, so let's jump right into it. New water pump is on. Reused the timing belt. Didn't put any new seals in. Broke outlet housing. You know, win some, you lose some. Now, we're gonna cover up the front of this engine bay right quick, and I'm gonna describe what we're gonna do as far as our fabrication. Cause time to start playing with our tube. You know what I mean. Don't be weird. So, as you can see, this is where we're going to be tying into first tonight. This, if you remember, if you had watched the previous videos, this frame horn, this front part of this frame here, was wrecked pretty bad. You can even see how torn up that still is. We're going to have to squish that together, weld it, and you can see how crumpled this side is still. Cut all that out. And then over here you can see this side is still pretty clean. I think the plan for tonight is going to be try and get some of this cleaned up in here and get a plate put in here and welded on, so that get a flat plate in here so that we can fit our tube in. Our tube's going to have to come out straight, or straight and then down, or something. So let me show you what material we're going to use to put in there. Okay, so all right, we're going to use this piece. This is some 3/16. Kind of a good middle ground as far as like thick enough that you can really put some heat into it and weld, and it's pretty strong, but it's not so thick that it's going to add just a ton of weight, like, you know, 1/4 inch or anything thicker than that. So we're going to get that area cleaned up right quick, get some templates made, and then we'll lay this out and cut it out. So pretty straightforward. Got our template made. Let's get it transferred.
Cool with that. Most parents wouldn't.
Transferred over and cut out. Pretty close. Let's see how they fit. Oh yeah, that is going to be very nice. Lots of room to weld. All right, we're running out of daylight. We're gonna let that cool down and let this fan blow. And tomorrow I'll show you what we're doing next. Also, you're probably wondering why I'm not welding in my welding shirt. Well, it's because the other day my oldest son accidentally kicked over a can of mixed gas for the weed eater, and so the shirt got soaked in gas. So I gotta wash it or something, because I'm sure it's evaporated all evaporated out, but just making sure. Over here, back in the daylight, we got the hood on. We got to figure out a way to kind of make sure the whole front end gets squared up. Okay, so the reason we're welding on these 1.5 inch pieces to our frame horns or whatever is because our 1 3/4 inch pieces slide right into them, right? So there's going to be a ton of mock-up. There's going to be a ton of fitting and bending and looking and wondering what the heck I'm doing with my life. So we're going to weld these on first, but we got to make sure they're really square and straight, so that when we put our 1 3/4 inch on around it, and I think it'll make it really strong. But it'll make it so that we can remove everything if we need. I'm like way out of frame here. Anyways, you get the point. Got me a couple pieces cut. I'm gonna set that one to the side, get that later. Show you something kind of cool. You haven't seen these before. They're deburring tools. So you can get them on Amazon for like super cheap, like less than $10 for a whole pack. And you see when you cut with the cold cut saw, come in here. That way when you go to slide your pipe on, there's no little burrs. Come on, get on there. It's all groovy. Little 1.5 inch tubes, welded out, outside, inside, and then we'll slide our other tube over, and then we'll be able to burn that in on the outside and drill some more plug welds like we've done on other things. So, got to move into up here. This side's a little smushed, right? This is where the wreck was at. So, probably have to hammer on that just a little bit to get it back into round. But you can see this side's pretty good. Let me show you the plan. Alright, got them ground down a little bit more, and they're getting pretty darn close. I don't think we need to make the radius or a little any smaller. I think we need to just do a little notch, right? Notch these right quick. Get all this cleaned up. Get some of that body goop off of there, and then we'll see how this fits. All right, so this side we got it pretty close, right? So you do that. You can burn it all the way in here in the front. You can burn it in the back. But over here on this passenger side, where's our flat spot? So we can put this little flat spot here. This is still pretty beat up, so we're just gonna probably tack this one in place and then probably hammer it in a little bit closer, because it's like we know this side's been pretty beat up. So next step is we're gonna go cut ourselves a couple pieces of, I don't know, this is 1.5 inch. We'll probably cut an 1.5 inch piece. These ended up being a little long, a little cumbersome, but like cumbersome to get in and around those. So we're gonna go ahead and cut some 1.5 inch pieces, weld them onto here, and then we'll weld the entire thing with the 1.5 inch pieces already on them, that we can make sure they're nice and square on the table beforehand. So let's go cut those pieces, and then we'll get these put in place. All right, jumping back on the Miata. You know what they say? There's never enough time to do it right this first time, but there's always time to redo it. Let me show you what we did. So what I ended up doing, see if you can see this here. I cut some 1.5-inch pipe, but I put about a 10-degree down or 10-degree angle on it. All right, so we're gonna get these tacked in place so that when we put our tubes on, when we put our front tube on, it will kind of have a natural downslope to start with, so we don't have to make an extra bend. So I'm gonna get these tacked in place right quick, and I'll show you the result. All right, so we got our 1.5-inch pieces welded on there on our pads, and our outside to outside is basically 52.25. So what's our plan? But we're gonna come out here, we're gonna do a little 45, and then we'll 45 over. We may roll the front of this tube, but in the kind of the Miata Kart I'm kind of basing this off of, they just had a straight tube, and I think it looks okay. Not 100% sure exactly if we're gonna roll the front of this or not, or put a little like 5-degree bend in it just so it kind of matches the shape of the front of the hood. That sounds a little extra, and I don't know if I'm going to do that, but we'll see. So let me go get some measurements on a piece of tube and get that cut, and then see what we've got. Do you remember this moment from a few videos ago? Oh, I messed it up already. Yeah. Oh my gosh. First bend and I screwed it up. Dang it. We saved that piece of tube we messed up on our very first bend. This is it. It's that piece of tube. And let me show you what we're gonna do with it. All right, so if you remember, we marked the center of our bend, and what we did wrong is we bent on the wrong side of our mark. But I think that is going to allow us to have some reference marks so we can recenter this up. We'll bend this to a little bit closer to a 45, maybe a 40, and then we'll come up a little bit and bend the other side, and then we'll do the other one to match. So hopefully we can get this to work. It is getting dark, it is getting late, it's Friday night, so like this is going to be the morning. All right, two things. One, the tubing bender is a giant pain in the rear to use. It's not very functional, but we're gonna get through this project, and next time we have to do a big roll cage project, we're gonna probably go buy another tubing bender. So if you're watching this and you want to sponsor a tubing bender, hit me up. Link in description. Two, it looks pretty good, but we got to make some modifications. Let me show you. So over here on the passenger side, you see that lines up pretty good. This looks pretty good through here, but over here we're not quite wide enough and this isn't bent to a true 90. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here, we're going to section it, we're going to cut this in half, we're going to get the tube stretcher out, stretch that, put a little piece there in the middle. Super easy, no big deal. And then we may put a little bit more bend in one of these, probably this one, and get it where it fits up a little bit better. So it's looking good though. Good shape to it. We'll be able to throw some tabs off of here and throw some hood pins in up here. So it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be good. All right, got splice here in the middle. We need to add about 1.5 inches, and this will go back, which will kind of draw this straight in, and I think it'll all fit really well. Gonna go over to the chop saw, chop me 1.5 inch piece, get this all get all this pulled apart, and then we'll get it all tacked together right quick. Well, like normal, ran out of time last night, but the front of the car is coming together. It's a little bit lower than I wanted down here, but I got to protect the radiator, honestly, so it'll be fine. We're going to get this notched, get those notched, get those fit up, then we'll fit up some straight bars. The old tube bender's in rough shape. Rebuilt it multiple times, got a new jack, it's already leaking. Let me just say that next time we have to do a big tube bending project, we're buying a new bender. So if you have any recommendations for that, put them down in the comments, because yeah, this was not fun. I mean, it's fun, but it's like, what a pain in the rear. Back to the Miata Kart. I think that's starting to look pretty good. Jumping back at it, it's been a couple days. Weather is absolutely mint. Back on the Miata Kart. And I've been staring at this for like an hour, and I got a plan. Let me show you. So, this is my plan. Got my cheater here. This is the 90, right? So we've got our bend spot marked, line that up, and we got it marked here. We're going to bend these with a 45, and then that will put some uprights about here. We'll notch everything, get some uprights, and yeah. And then also, eventually, we'll get some tubes. We'll put them back like this or something, maybe like that, maybe some triangulation. Because our sway bars down here just don't have anything to land on right now. So we're gonna come bend some 45s, get those notched and tacked into place with some uprights, and then come back here with some tubes coming on here, maybe off of here. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Figure out what looks good. So, yep. Turn the floodlights on. I got from Harbor Freight. It is after daylight saving time has ended, and basically in our country, I think that's the one thing that we can all agree on is that daylight saving time is stupid. We should, Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, communists, everybody thinks that we should put the clocks forward in the spring and leave it alone. Like, what are we doing? Like, figure it out. Figure it out, government. Because it's dumb. You know it's not dumb? Chopping up your own Miata. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Because it's really getting really cold. And I am building a car without doors and a top. Makes sense. Makes sense. Alright, time lapse. Oh, man. Let me show you a little closer, probably. All right, a little bit closer of a look. I know there's still some big gaps. We'll try and fill those as best we can. But it's coming along. It's looking good. I'm going to work on this other side right quick. It is getting late, but we've got our floodlights out. Can't see those. Just bright lights. And temperature is actually absolutely perfect. So we're going to keep working on this other side for a little bit. I'll show you what it looks like when we get it wrapped up. All right, it is the next day after dinner, and we got most all of the main front bash bar, tube work, whatever you want to say. We got most of it done. Let's check it out. Gonna have some shadows. It is post daylight saving time ending, so I got this big spotlight out here, big floodlights, so sorry. Alright, so starting over here on the passenger side, we bent this one around. Hood lands on it pretty nice. I really wanted to keep the pop-up headlights, but wasn't gonna work, so we'll do some fixed lights or something there. This tube here from the back. Oh my gosh. Let me move these lights. This is ridiculous. Alright. Better, hopefully. So, this tube back there, that goes back to where it was crashed. We cut that as far back as we needed to. Brought it out. Got our uprights here. Radiator will go in there. We'll put some expanded metal over those. We might infill these with a little bit of sheet metal with some dimpled eyes. Don't know yet. Overall, I think it looks pretty dang good. Alright, next step is we're going to lower it down on the ground, put it back on ride height, and see how it looks. Y'all, I think it looks pretty dang good. That will cart. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to raise this back up to where I can like weld around everything. And basically, that's gonna be the end of the video. I'm gonna weld all this out. And I just want to say, hey, thanks for watching this build series. It really means a lot. This is something I've said in other videos, I've really wanted to do this for a long time. So I do really appreciate you watching. And if you could, just leave a comment. That's all I ask. Say, hey, what's up? Let me know where you're from, or what type of cars you're working on, or what type of projects you're working on. I don't know. Just say hey in the comments. Say what's up. But anyways, I'm gonna like I said, getting this all welded out. I'm probably gonna play a time lapse over all of this, so who knows. But next video is gonna be pretty fun because we're gonna have to start on the million little things that we're gonna do to button this thing up. It is the first week of November. Deer season's coming up. Holidays are coming up. Christmas is coming up. Cold weather's coming up. As you can see, it's already dark out here. So we got a lot of work to do, but I'm confident we can get it done. So thanks for watching. Do what you always do. Take care of one another, and I will see you next time over here at Project Central. Bye.